Yo! Dude, I've been skiing my whole life, and this is the first time a helmet's ever maybe been like, excuse me? Like, yo, that's so crazy. Before we get on to the backflips, man, big shout out to DSH, man. They're doing this thing proper. They're not paying me at all to make this video. They literally just wanted to send me their new helmet for some genuine input to keep the authenticity level high. Everything you hear me say about this helmet is my genuine thoughts and my opinion, dude. That's pretty crazy, eh? Alright, buddy, let's go take her for a rumble. As you can see, she's dumping out big time, so we're going to post up with our old electrics before we go out to make sure the old hosts are nice and safe. And we'll get to the rumbling here shortly. Nice. So, new pickup. I don't have the tan jacket anymore. I think it's pronounced Orange. O-R-A-G-E. You see what I'm wearing?
Mac and cheese full.
So it passed the aerodynamics test, it passed the skis test, but can it pass the impact test? That's the question. Man, my head feels so cozy. It's so protected. I'm not even kidding. Oh, let's go.
Nope.
Now, believe it or not, those clips weren't from a ski resort. They were from my backyard. That's because I can't get out to any of my local ski hills right now, which is sort of a bummer. Like, hopefully they'll open shortly, man. You saw the amount of snow out there. But actually tossing a couple of flips with this thing on, smashing it against the skin of a basketball, it resembled a lot of situations that would occur if I were to go skiing. So there's definitely some instances after taking impact, you know, tossing that little misty 540 to flat there where I had some instances of goggle gapage. Is something you don't want. Why? Air is cold and it will freeze your forehead, buddy. You don't want it. But that was more so my inability to use this tightening strap. Believe it or not, this helmet has a tightening strap. Usually I also wear a balaclava underneath my helmet, so that adds a little bit more friction and takes up some of that empty space as well to make sure it's more of a snug fit. That way if I take an impact on a backflip or some other trick, that goggle gap won't come into place. Now this thing is so cozy, man. This whole inside is made out of this really premium feeling, soft to touch fiber. Now, I don't know if your grandmother's ever given you one of those scalp massages after Thanksgiving dinner, but it's basically what it feels like when you're wearing this helmet. I will say the DSH is a little bit thicker of a helmet, especially compared to my old POC helmet that I've been running for the past, dude, maybe like 5 years. That extra thickness is a trade-off with protection, right? When I hit my head on that basketball, I seriously didn't feel a thing. Maybe a little one of those, but if I was wearing my POC helmet, dude, I would have felt that. It was kind of nuts. Like, this thing acted like a big bike fork. Like, it literally just absorbed that impact, which was insane. I know for some individuals that extra thickness might be a deal breaker, especially for that freestyler individual who needs a really lightweight helmet. But I will say, even though the DSH is a little bit thicker and a lot more beefy, like, dude, this thing is really well constructed. In terms of weight, it's not much heavier than the POC helmet. So it just comes down to where your priorities are. If you need a really lightweight helmet for that quintuple cork 1980 you're tossing, then maybe you can't compensate on weight, right? Maybe you need to go with the POC. If you're more so just the mainstream skier who likes going down the mountain, maybe a free rider, you like tossing big backcountry backflips, then dude, your dome is going to be way more protected if you're using the DSH. I do have one complaint with this helmet, and it's not going to be a complaint that pertains to every skier or snowboarder. It's going to completely depend on how you like to rock your helmet. So I've always worn my helmet with my ear cups taken off, right? This POC helmet did come with ear caps, ear cups, whatever you want to call them. But I always like to take them off because I prefer to have my goggles riding underneath my helmet rather over top. It's just I don't know, something I do. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is what I do. The DSH, you can take these ear caps off, but it wasn't really intended for that. Like I said, you can't take it off. You just have 2 clips that you need to unbutton here. Feed that band through. Buddy, and she's off. But the issue is, once you have that ear cap off, that trim piece lining the shell of the helmet there isn't actually attached anymore, so it'd just be flapping around in the wind. Now again, the vast majority of people do prefer to have their goggles riding on the outside of their helmet, so this is more so of a niche issue, but if they could figure out a way to engineer that nice little trim piece to stay in touch, even with this ear cap removed, that'd be fantastic. So whenever I'm in the market for a new helmet, there's always 4 things I look at. And first up is protection, dude. Obviously, I want to make sure my dome is in good shape wearing this. Second up is comfort. I want something that's going to be cozy. Third, I want to look at weight. Is it a good quality, a well-built helmet, but still relatively lightweight? Then fourth is steez, man. Dude, I'm going to be wearing this thing on the hill. Dude, I got to impress the ladies. She has to look nice. Without question, the DSH checks the protection box. Conventional helmet is made out of what's called EPS foam. It's the same material that's used in my POC helmet. According to the company, EPS foams are only good enough to protect the user against one type of impact, and that's your high-speed impact. One impact out of the 4 impacts that they list, dude, that's kind of lame. And again, dude, this helmet showed that basketball no mercy. Absolutely whooped its ass. On top of that, according to DSH, they passed the United States minimum safety standards by 55% and Europe's minimum safety standards by 46%. So if protection's a big thing for you, look no further, man. They got you covered. Buddy, this thing is so cozy. Like, unbelievable, man. I wasn't kidding about that Thanksgiving speech I gave earlier. Also, the cellular membrane that's used to construct the helmet, this crazy blue piece you're seeing here, allows for a higher degree of ventilation through the helmet. So say you're super frustrated, you're sitting on top of the course, you're looking down at the big booty booter, and you're wondering, dude, why can't I toss a triple cork 12? Well, buddy, don't fret, man. You're going to be cooled down in your time of frustration thanks to these vents. According to the company, it also helps mitigate some goggle fogging. Comfort box, buddy? Yo, that's a big check. So where you gain in protection and comfort with this helmet, you do need to compromise a little bit on the weight side, right? This is definitely a heavier helmet compared to my POC. Now, while it is noticeably heavier than your average helmet, it's not going to impact your skiing or snowboarding in any material way. If I was wearing the DSH, I'd still feel totally comfortable going out into the backcountry, tossing a dub, and I'd probably feel a lot safer with that one on as well because, man, I'm not lying, this thing can take an impact. Checking off the weight box is going to be contingent on who you are as a skier or snowboarder. For me, I find the difference to be negligible, so I'd still check off the weight box for myself. This thing is loud, dude. There is nothing like this on the market, so you're definitely going to be snapping some necks at the ski hill. But whether or not you like the design is completely subjective, right? Take a modified Prius, for example. Say you see one driving down Main Street, buddy. Dude, it's going to snap my neck. I'm just going to look back behind me to clarify what I saw. But dude, I don't like that. If there's actually any Prius lovers out there, dude, I apologize, I guess, but dude, I really don't like looking at that. I'm sorry. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the DSH helmet is a modified Prius. What I'm saying is, dude, you're going to get some looks on the hill with this. Nobody has seen a helmet like this before. Whether or not you like the look of it is completely up to you. I personally think it looks sick. I think it is a really cool looking helmet. You're not solely limited to the black and blue version that I was showing off today. They got a lot of other color combinations coming out in the future, which look tight. But still, my biggest complaint with this helmet is that it wasn't intended for you to ride your goggles underneath of it. The ear caps are meant to stay on, not to be taken off. Now, as ridiculous as that sounds, that's what makes me hesitant to make the switch to this helmet, as ridiculous as it sounds, man. But again, this isn't the final version of the helmet, so if they're able to engineer a way to remove these earpieces while keeping that lining attached and allow me to ride my goggles underneath of it, then I'd definitely make the switch. So if I was buying this helmet for myself, it definitely meets my needs for protection, comfort, weight, but falling a little bit short on the Steez side of things. Not because the helmet looks bad in my opinion. I think it looks dope personally, but it's just because of that ear cap issue, right? I really value riding my goggles underneath my helmet, as dumb as it is, man. But again, how you perceive the looks of the helmet is completely subjective. A lot of people, the vast majority of people, ride their goggles over top of the helmet, so it's not going to be an issue for most people. If that's the case, you really can't go wrong with buying this helmet. They did a killer job with this product. Now, if you were looking to purchase this helmet, the unfortunate news is this helmet is still in the prototyping phase. But buddy, here's the kicker. DSH really wants to gauge your input about the helmet. If you guys have any bits of criticism, if there's any future additions you'd like to see in it, perhaps, I don't know, like a waterfall feature coming down the top, dude, something sick like that. So if you have any input about this helmet, toss it in the comment section below so the DSH team can see it and hopefully address it. I tried to finish it too soon. You boys know I love you. You know the good.
Good Lord.
Good Lord upstairs, man. Yes, sir. Yo, he loves you, okay? He does.